Hi Cancers, welcome to your second half of July reading. Sorry for the delay. If you see some smoke, that's my full moon, Isis, full moon goddess incense that I'm burning. So let's go ahead and get into it. The only thing that's different as far as the planet placement is that Mercury will move into Cancer on, I believe, the 19th, and then Venus moves into Leo from Cancer on the 27th, I believe. This is going to be a different spread. It's still a relationship spread. However, it's going to be an evaluation spread. So we'll look deeper into the type of the nature of the relationship. It can still apply to any relationship in your life. So just keep that in mind. It can also still be the relationship you have with yourself. And this is Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs. If you don't know how to check your placement, there's a link in the description box showing you how, as well as how to book a personal reading, how to donate, how to connect with me on social media, and also where you can find extended and additional exclusive readings on Patreon. Let's go ahead and get into it. While I was pre-shuffling, these three cards came out. And it's like you had to give up on something that you were working really hard for or towards. You possibly were standing up for something or someone, but it was something that was either draining you or causing you a lot of stress and anxiety, or the fact that you had to walk away from it has caused you a lot of stress or anxiety. But it's something that you're having a hard time. I think you are releasing your pride in a sense, but I think at the same time you are having a hard time letting something go. It's caused you a lot of pain, a lot of anxiety, a lot of maybe even depression, maybe even causing you to doubt yourself a little bit, Cancer. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. So this is a 6-card spread. We will still clarify with the soul card deck and give you advice with this Starman Tarot deck. I'll pull oracle cards and additional questions, and the extended reading, which you can find on Patreon. All right, 2 more shuffles for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. All right, I hope y'all are doing okay. Forgive me for being so quiet. So yeah, look, something has caused a lot of struggle, probably internally for you. And now I think you're getting to the point where you're trying to release that. It's probably been a burden. It's probably just caused you a lot of stress, just a lot of mental stress. Is probably something that you were very passionate about. Could be something involved in the arts or something you had to be creative with, but this represents negotiation, or could be inner conflict, but it could also be like some type of litigation, competition, or like feeling like you can't be heard, like your voice can't be heard. It's Leo energy. It's like a need to stand your ground, and with that 7 of Wands, I think that you were standing your ground with something, but it was still causing you a lot of stress, or maybe you weren't getting the results you wanted. All right, let's go ahead and get to your reading. This person, whoever this person may be, this is their purpose in your life here with the 4 of Cups in reverse. So, with this being in the reverse, it could mean that you are starting something new. And that's also what the 5 of Swords in the reverse can mean. Like you're moving on from something, starting something new, like a fresh start. So this could be like a new job, learning new skills, or starting some new position, or being open to new interests, beginning to get out of this boredom, stagnant energy. Is this Cancer energy, but this could also be stubbornness, or refusal to consider new options. there's a change that needs to happen. It could be that there's something that is causing you a lot of stress and anxiety that you need to give up, that you just aren't giving up. There's something that you're having an internal struggle about, and whatever the situation is, you probably know exactly what it is. And if not, you will know by the end of the reading if this is your reading. But this could also mean like training for a new career, like a new position, a new job, a new field, something new and creative that you enjoy, or new challenges. It could also represent like fear of being alone, fear of starting something new or considering something new. Very much so like the Four of Pentacles in the reverse, like being in a comfort zone. But there is a need for change here. But I think in the reverse, it's being resisted. Okay, how does this person's energy affect you? We have the Ten of Pentacles here. This person, I think, gives you a sense of security. It could be in a codependent way because of all the other cards that came out, especially with the pre-shuffle. I won't say that they're not good cards, but they're not the most positive cards, and this would be a positive card. It represents like longevity and security and stability and loyalty, and maybe this person gives you a sense of security, but you should be able to get that on your own. You may be relying on this person financially, you may live with this person, but I think they do give you a sense of security. Something about this connection does give you a sense of security. Where your strengths are as a team. So I think one or both of you is probably very defensive or has a guard up. The Four of Cups could also mean having a guard up, but the Nine of Wands being in the reverse, in the position of where your strengths are. This is so funny because it's been a little backwards in all of these readings. Excuse me. So this is Sagittarius energy. Yes. It represents like obstacles, being tired, maybe even feeling a little bit insecure, which is also what I got from the Seven of Wands in reverse. Could mean like a little bit of self-doubt. This is my push through card. So with this card being in the reverse, it's like either doubting whether you can push through or doubting whether or not you want to. Kind of taking a break and looking at where you've been and the progress that you've made and wondering if it's worth all the struggle or the hard work that you've put in. It could also be mental exhaustion, because I did sense I did sense anxiety and stress in those pre-shuffle cards. So you could just feel tired, just be mentally exhausted, just very drained. All of this looks very draining. It could also be defensiveness, just straight up defensiveness in relationships or just in general. I think you're at a place where you're doubting your own strength, doubting whether or not you can push through this phase or this situation or this relationship, whatever this is that you are involved in right now. You're at a place where you're like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is worth it. You could be going back and forth. Like one day you feel really good about it and the next you're like, no, I don't want to do this. This is not for me. All right. So what challenges you face as a team? This can represent like refusing to self-assess, refusing to look at yourself and be honest in judging your own character or your own behaviors. With these two cards lining up together, this represents the challenge you face together. I think there is a fear of change for both of you. There could be codependency on both sides. You could just be relying on each other for some sort of stability. Like somebody could be relying on the one for emotional stability, the other could be relying on the other for financial stability or something like that. But I think there's a change that needs to happen. Somebody needs to go within and take a look at themselves. And Cancer could be you, could be your person as well, could be both. However, someone does need to self-assess and kind of look at themselves in the mirror and be honest and ask themselves some real questions and really assess themselves. This could represent delays as well. It's either being fearful, pessimistic, or just having a lot of doubt is what I get. Having a lot of doubt and like Judgment can represent a fresh start, but I think with this card being in the reverse, there's either like somebody's pushing it off or delaying this fresh start. This can mean delay too. The wands can also represent travel, so it could be like travel, movement, action. So with these being in the reverse, there's delay. There's delay. And this represents too, I think, feeling emotionally drained with these two cards. You're feeling some type of way here, but it's like the self-assessment that is required, that's going to give you some clarity, is being avoided, right? This is Pluto energy. There's some transformations and rebirths and things of that nature happening because of Pluto being retrograde right now. And I think the changes that need to be made, this power struggle that you're having, is because Pluto, that energy, is trying to push you into those changes, and you are resisting it. Very much so resisting. And that could be why you feel so drained and you feel so tired, because you're going against the current rather than with it. An underlying issue that you have in your relationship here, in this energy, it makes a lot of sense that it's hard to manifest, that it's hard to be organized and have a lot of focus and create and just bring things into fruition. If there's a lot of self-doubt, if there's a lot of fear, that's probably what you're manifesting. So the issue being the Magician card, the action, it's not here. There's delay. The ambition, there's doubt. You know what I'm saying? This could represent a new beginning, a new start, a new creative project, new beginnings, but it's being resisted. The change that wants to come in is being very much so resisted. This is Mercury energy, could be Gemini or Virgo. Mercury is retrograde right now for us too, but it could be working against you. First of all, it's not going to necessarily work against you. It is gonna amplify things dealing with communication, travel, and our intellectual capacity. So that will be a challenging theme while Mercury is retrograde. But I think whatever it is that you're dealing with, especially the resisting this transformation, is making it that much harder to gain focus and for your vision to be clear, and also for you to stay organized and be in control, especially of your thoughts. It's blocking you from manifesting, one or both of you. Let's look at this last card. A better way to communicate with them. It's about leaving. I'm laughing because I heard walk away. Just leave, walk away. I feel like for some of you, this is probably a connection that's just not working, or there needs to be some type of change or a break in this connection. And it's probably something that is not going to change unless you change your methods, unless you do things a little bit differently. And that's been a running theme in these readings too. Like, everybody's kind of resisting the change that needs to happen and kind of holding on to those old paradigms, those old mentalities and ways of thinking, and resisting all the change that wants to come in and transform us. And it's so hard to let go of, our old selves. So I've been seeing that in all of these readings. So don't feel bad. It's not just you. But this represents alleviating stress. Leaving strife behind. It's Aquarius energy, could also be Gemini or Libra. But it's about distancing yourself from conflict, and this does seem to be a very conflicting situation. It's at least leaving you feeling very conflicted with the Five of Wands in the reverse. There's a lot of internal conflict that's happening, and there's a need to alleviate that in order for you to gain your creative focus. Let's go ahead and clarify the spread. 2 shuffles, because I already pre-shuffled pretty good. All right. So clarifying the overall theme of the reading, we have the Two of Wands and the Five of Swords. I'm sorry, Five of Wands. So a lot of fire energy, a lot of passion. Whatever this is, you're very passionate about, or it stirs your passions. But this could represent an ending or a break in a relationship. Disagreements, not being able to see eye to eye, not being able to come together and make plans, or come together and come to some mutual understanding or agreement. It could represent the ending of a partnership, and I probably feel like that's what you are kind of going back and forth with in your mind, and that's why it's so much of a struggle. And it's like all the signs are here. I did also see this in my mini deck pre-shuffling as well. This could also represent stubbornness and pride. I think that's causing this situation to be far more stressful than it needs to be. Being so prideful and being so stubborn, that's what's contributing to this internal stress and tug of war that you're having. This also means miscommunication, or an unreliable partner. It's also, again, delays in travel or plans, not making plans, or a delay in plans. You could be trying to figure out or not being able to figure out which way to go next or what to do next because you're having so many internal struggles right now. The Hangman being here with the Four of Cups in the reverse. This is this person's purpose in your life. This could be like I said, refusing to see an opportunity or refusing to start something new, or fear of change. And I think there's a need to sacrifice that energy. There's a need to let that go. This is Neptune energy, Pisces energy. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces right now as well. So there's a need to sacrifice and wait for new perspective. It's about gaining perspective, looking at things from a new angle. And I think that's definitely something that needs to happen here. There's a need to take a second look at this and look at it from a different angle, because you may not see the opportunity. You may not see the value of this opportunity, but if you take another look, or if you just kind of detach and let go and, do some other things, occupy your time in another way, or occupy your mind or your energy in another way, and wait for some perspective to come to you, you may see things in another light and be open to the changes that need to be made. So the Page of Pentacles is here with the Ten of Pentacles. I think for whatever reason you think that this person, this is how this person's energy affects you. Like I said, you find some stability or some security within this connection, but there's no progress being made. There's no effort being put in by one party or another, or it's just not going anywhere. This represents lacking progress or being irrational or illogical. It could be bad news or selfishness. Somebody could be very selfish. Could also be financial losses. With both of these being Pentacle, you could be dealing with the Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. This could also represent time, energy, and effort not being put into this foundation, because this could represent a foundation. So it's not making progress. It's not like, I think you really want this Ten of Pentacles, but it's not if it is the Ten of Pentacles, it's not going any further, which, I mean, this is the ultimate, but whatever you are right now, it's like you're trying to get to this and it's not moving in that direction. And there's a need to let go and wait for new perspective, wait for your intuition to tell you kind of which way to go about this. Okay. Where your strengths are as a team, there could be some defensiveness. You both may have been through a lot, but the Knight of Swords is here. So there could be some arguing. There could be a lot of fighting with the Knight of Swords, because the Knight of Swords can be a little bit reckless. It's mental energy, air energy, again, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. This can represent oppositions and disputes, like a truth coming to light, but there can also be some recklessness or chaotic energy with this, with somebody being defensive. I do sense like arguing or little spats or just like passive aggressiveness, like snapping, quick-tempered, maybe irritability, because the Knight is, it does represent action. So I think you're definitely acting on this defensive and tired energy in a not so mature way. And this is representing your strengths as a team. I think if this were, I don't know how this would represent a strength. I think maybe communication could be a strength if it weren't in such a projected way. It's like this defensiveness, like this being tired, is coming out in the as you try to work through these issues. But it's like someone's either projecting how they feel rather than being solution oriented. I hope I'm making sense. Rather than trying to find common ground and come together, it's like neither one of you are able to hear one another because of how you feel. You're projecting that and the way you express it. Like I'm picturing the traditional Knight of Swords, you know, rushing in with the sword, and how he's like frowning and rushing in. It looks very chaotic and reckless, and it's just like you're saying the first thing that's on your mind, and just like very snappy and quick tempered because you're so tired and drained and not able to see a way to change the situation around. And right now it just may be the best thing to just drop it and walk away. So with Judgment here, what kind of challenges you face as a team? Trying to self-assess, trying to experience this awakening or go through these changes is being avoided. Like I said, and the Queen of Swords is here, having a nasty attitude about it too. I feel like there's a lot of complaining, a lot of stress. This is a pretty heavy reading. There could also be some, yeah, I think there is some conflict. This could be someone playing mind games and being manipulative, stubbornness again, distance, being either cruel or cold, kind of shutting down your emotions, but it's also unreasonable behavior under stress. So I think the pressure from, you know, this Pluto energy wanting to come in and make these changes and it's like you're being constantly triggered until you self-assess and figure out what it is that you are doing that's contributing to this cycle. Because I do feel like there's some type of pattern happening here. You're so tired and so stressed and so ready to experience a change, but you're not doing the very thing that you need to do to get that change. And like I said, that's a running theme in these readings. But being very critical, I think being very critical of yourself and also of your partner. I think there's a lot of projection. Like whatever you're feeling, you're projecting on your partner, or whatever they're feeling, they're projecting on you. It could be both. Then we have the Two of Cups with the Magician here. An underlying issue that you have in your relationship. There's an imbalance. There's an imbalance of focus, creative effort, or energy. There's an imbalance of organization, communication also, consideration even, maybe, because the Two of Cups would represent like things like compassion, caring. It's a very loving and kind energy, but the Magician is also, you know, about self-discipline, energy, focus, manifesting again, action, open communication. And I think with the Two of Cups here, in the reverse, this is Cancer energy as well, but there's a ton of misunderstandings. There's an emotional struggle or emotional battles. There is a need for common ground, but this could also mean there's a need for a break over dependence. Yeah, I think there's definitely codependency. So, yeah, I think you aren't able to manifest anything in this relationship because, like I said, I think there just needs to be a break right now. Maybe this is something that you can break from and come back to, but it's like, this is one of those things where it's like, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. If you want change, you have to change. And I don't see that happening here, and I think that's why all the partnership cards, all the progression cards, all the action cards are in the reverse. A better way to communicate, we have the Six of Cups in the reverse with the Six of Swords. The Six of Cups can represent like nostalgia and memories, but it's in the reverse. So this could represent clinging to the past, refusing to budge, also having self-doubt, but it's a need for a fresh start. Again, clinging to this person, clinging to the way things used to be, not being able to escape that mentally and thinking that you can get that back, and it very well may be possible. I mean, you have the Two of Cups here, so it very well may be a soulmate connection, but it could be a karmic partner too. This person could be coming into your life to teach you a lesson, but it's like hanging on to the past and not being as concerned with the future as you should be. Yeah, it's like being stuck in this situation and not willing to make the changes that you need to get the improvement. It's just, it looks like a vicious cycle, Cancer. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right, 2 more shuffles. Let's get the likely, oh no, let's get some advice for you. The Alien in reverse and the Seven of Pentacles has slid out, so I'll read those. All right. Y'all know I love to read out of the book about these cards, so let's look at the Alien real quick, which is a Hermit. So there could be some, like one of you could be isolated or forced into isolation, spending a lot of time by yourself and not liking it. Stop hiding. Step out from your hibernation and engage with others. Help those around you transform. Bring your ideas into the world. So some of you could just be hiding and just like being like hiding from your responsibilities, like you're feeling so tired. You could just be running away from the very thing that you need to do. Like I said, that's really what I get from this. Like resting when you should be engaging. And then it says, help those around you transform. But I think you also have some transformation that you need to experience yourself as well. Then the Seven of Pentacles is here. And this is about the patience and kindness required to grow and sustain a life of value and beauty. So I think you need to have more patience with yourself and understand that things are going to take time to turn around. And if you're feeling exhausted and burnt out, then it's probably best to break away from this and, you know, go into an isolation that is healthy, like not running from your problems, but tending to yourself and doing the shadow work, you know. So we have the Chariot card here, which is Cancer energy. So beautiful that came up in your reading. Take charge of your own destiny. Seize the moment and let the momentum carry you forward. Finish what you set into motion. Don't hesitate. You can do this. So I think there is a lot of self-doubt. This has been very challenging and overwhelming for you. So you kind of want to give up. But I think this is just here to remind you that you can do this. This is your card. This is your energy. It's reminding you that you can be successful. This represents triumph and victory and success and determination, momentum. And I think if you just kind of get the ball rolling, it'll get easier and easier. We have the Eight of Swords here. Let's look at this real quick. It's in the reverse. Staying stuck, too much expansion, not enough structure. Trapped in an endless cycle of repetition. I just said this is a cycle. staying stuck because you keep doing the same things. And it's like you are putting more on your plate, but you're not taking the things off of your plate that aren't helping, if that makes sense. Like, there needs to be a more strategic plan or approach to this, and that's why I say you really need to take a break from this situation and stop tending to this other person and just really do some internal work. And like I said, detach from this situation, let go for now, wait for the universe to give you the perspective you need to deal with this, and then you can come up with a plan to move forward so that you can keep going. And we have the Seven of Wands here. All right, Seven of Wands. Protect and defend your own vision. Learn to stand your ground. Strengthen your resolve. Deal with the challenges you face head on. This came up in the reverse, so I think you're at a place where you're wanting to quit, but I think there is something you need to give up on. It's just not yourself. And if this situation with this other person, whatever this relationship is distracting you or draining you and not pouring into you or giving you anything, then it's probably best that you take a break from it. Do some self-assessment so you can go through these transformations in a more easy way, and then you can kind of tend to your own goals and face your challenges head on, and only deal with your challenges, because I feel like you're being faced with other people's challenges as well, and that's probably why you feel so tired and overwhelmed and why you can't find balance within this connection. That's a lot, I know. So Cancers, I'm going to go ahead and continue this spread in the extended reading. I hope you'll join me there. The link for my Patreon page is down below. The bottom tier will allow you access to all of the extended readings for all 12 zodiac signs. And the top two tiers, of course, include more benefits as well as discount codes for personal readings. If you would like to book a personal reading, it is below. I'm also certified for Reiki now, so I can send distance healing, and I will do so for donations. So please look at the information in my description box to connect with me on social media and book your appointments and book a consultation if you ever are not sure what service you may need. And thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment if this reading resonated. And be patient and be kind with yourselves, and definitely heed the advice of this reading. I'm going to pull oracle cards and do like a mini relationship spread in the extended reading. So I hope you'll join me there. Until next time, peace, love, and light. Bye.